I gave you a choice right now, and don't overthink it, don't try to outsmart the question, just answer instinctively. Would you take $100,000 today or $10 a day? Seriously, pause for a second. Which one feels better? Which one feels safer? Which one makes you feel like you're finally winning? Most people, like most people, grab the $100,000 without blinking. Of course you do. It feels powerful. It feels like progress. It feels like relief. It feels like you can finally breathe. And that emotional reaction right there, that reaction is exactly why most people stay broke longer than they need to. My name is Ian, and I spend way too much time thinking about why normal, hardworking, intelligent people don't build wealth. Not because they're lazy, not because they're dumb, but because they misunderstand how money actually compounds and how human psychology quietly sabotages long-term growth. If you're someone who earns, pays bills, maybe saves a bit, but still feels like financial freedom is always someday, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're dismantling one of the biggest myths in personal finance, that big money events are what make you rich. Look, here's the thing. A $100,000 lump sum feels like power. It feels like acceleration. It feels like you've skipped the line. But $10 a day? That feels insignificant. That feels small. That feels almost laughable. You might even think, Ian, that's $3,650 a year. That's nothing compared to $100,000. And mathematically, in year 1, you're right. In year 5, you're right. Even in year 10, you might still feel right. But wealth isn't built in year 1. It's built in year 30. It's built in year 40. And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk math, real math, because the math matters. If you invest $10 a day, that's about $300 a month. Over 40 years, assuming an average annual return of around 8%, which is historically reasonable for diversified equity markets over long periods, that grows to roughly $1 million. Let that sink in. Roughly $1 million from what felt like pocket change. Meanwhile, $100,000 invested once at 8% for 40 years grows to about $2.1 million. So yes, on pure math, the lump sum wins. If and only if you never touch it, never interrupt it, never panic, never reallocate emotionally, never upgrade your car because I deserve it. And here's what most people don't realize. The average investor does not capture the average market return. Studies repeatedly show that investor behavior, poor timing, panic selling, chasing trends, reduces returns significantly. So while the market might average 8%, individual investors often realize much less because they interfere. A lump sum sitting there, visible, large, tempting, that's emotional pressure. And emotional pressure leads to decisions. Decisions lead to interruptions. Interruptions kill compounding. Now compare that to $10 a day. It's automated. It's boring. It doesn't feel like a big decision. It doesn't tempt lifestyle inflation. It doesn't scream, spend me. It builds quietly. And because it feels small, you're less likely to disrupt it. The power isn't just in the math. It's in the behavior. It's in sustainability. And sustainability over decades beats intensity over months. Think about this. When someone receives a $100,000 inheritance or bonus, what's the first instinct? How can I use this? Not, how can I preserve this for 40 years? That mindset shift is subtle but massive. Big money activates consumption thinking. Small daily investing activates identity thinking. You become someone who invests every day. No drama, no excitement, just repetition. And repetition builds discipline. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence builds long-term stability. That psychological progression is everything. There's also the volatility factor. Markets fluctuate. That's normal. A 20% drop on $100,000 is $20,000. That feels painful. That feels personal. That feels like loss. But when you're investing daily, a downturn feels like discounted assets. It feels like opportunity. Same market, different emotional framing. And investing success is largely emotional endurance. The person who stays calm the longest wins. The person who keeps contributing when others hesitate wins. The person who treats downturns as routine rather than catastrophic wins. Here's another layer people ignore. Income growth. When you start at $10 a day, that's your baseline. But as your income grows, and if you focus on skills, promotions, business, side income, you naturally increase contributions. That $10 becomes $15, then $20, then $30. And because the habit already exists, the increase doesn't feel painful. It feels like evolution. revolution. So while the original math comparison used $10 a day for 40 years, reality often looks more powerful because disciplined savers increase their investment rate over time. That scaling effect can surpass a stagnant lump sum that was never added to. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ian, but what if I get the $100,000 and I'm disciplined? Great, then you win. But here's the honest truth. Discipline isn't declared, it's demonstrated over time. Most people overestimate their ability to hold steady for decades. We are wired for short-term reward. We are wired for emotional reaction. We are wired for narrative. The market is crashing. The economy is booming. This new opportunity is revolutionary. And those narratives tempt action. Action feels productive. But in investing, unnecessary action is usually destructive. Boring wins. I know that's not sexy. Boring consistency is undefeated. And here's something even deeper. When wealth builds gradually, your lifestyle grows slower than your assets. When wealth appears suddenly, your lifestyle often jumps first. That gap, that timing difference is everything. People who grow wealth slowly learn to live below their means naturally. People who receive large sums often feel an urgency to optimize their lives quickly. New house, better car, travel upgrades. And while none of those are inherently wrong, they permanently increase expenses, which means the lump sum must now perform under pressure. Meanwhile, the $10 a day investor is building assets while keeping expenses stable. That margin, that breathing room, is financial power. And here's what most people don't realize. The first decade of investing feels slow. The second decade feels noticeable. The third decade feels powerful. The fourth decade feels unstoppable. Compounding is not linear, it's exponential. The last 10 years often produce more growth than the first 20 combined, but you only experience that phase if you don't quit during the boring middle. And daily investing helps you survive the boring middle because it's routine, it's normalized, it's not dramatic, it's just what you do. And that's how wealth is built. Not through excitement, not through windfalls, not through hoping for the big break, but through identity-driven consistency, through systems that reduce decision fatigue, through automation that protects you from yourself. So what's the takeaway? Start small if you have to. Start today. Automate it. Remove friction. Increase contributions when income increases. Focus on earning power as aggressively as you focus on saving power. Think in decades, not quarters. Stop waiting for the big moment. Stop believing that wealth begins when you finally have enough. Wealth begins when you commit to repetition, when you understand that small amounts repeated long enough become life-changing. And yes, if you receive a lump sum, invest it wisely, but don't wait for one, because the person investing $10 a day starting at 22 can end up wealthier than the person who gets $100,000 at 40 and hesitates. Time matters more than size. Behavior matters more than intention. Systems matter more than motivation. That's the secret nobody advertises because it's not flashy, it's just effective. So ask yourself again, $100,000 today or $10 a day? If you're thinking long-term, if you're thinking behaviorally, if you're thinking about who you want to become rather than what you want to have right now, the answer changes. And when your mindset changes, your financial trajectory changes with it. I'm Ian. Don't be broke. See ya.